going on, everybody? Welcome to the first ever edition of MLB Picks and Props Around the Diamond, presented by FTN Bets right here on FTN Network YouTube, our page, as well as GamePlus Network. Chris Meaney here with you. As you see, I am joined by MLBDream and Frank Brank, a.k.a. Real Frank Brank, myself at Chris Meaney and MLBDream on the Twitter machine. We are super excited about this show. Quick, fast-paced MLB betting show coming at you Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1:30 Eastern and on GamePlus Network at 6 Eastern. We're really excited about extending our partnership with GamePlus Network. Betting with Benny launched today over at GamePlus Network. Set, Bet, Spike, myself, and Eric Young launching this week. Bogey Free, which you could be familiar with, a golf betting show, also launching this week on GamePlus Network on Wednesday. And of course, All in Football, Mean Streets over there as well. As we inch closer to the NFL season, look for more content over at GamePlus Network and here in our FTN Network YouTube page. The goal here is to provide some winners around the diamond, some MLB picks and some props, 2 to 3 picks every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We also have a fantastic just bet tracker over at ftnbets.com, which we'll get into in just a little bit. First, though, before we came on, guys, I mean, we got breaking news here, which is just fantastic, right? I love it. Anytime that news breaks just before a show or during, much better than after the show. And I wish we had Frank's live initial, face MLBDream when you told him about the trade that just went down. Josh Hader headed to the San Diego Padres. Taylor Rogers going the other way to Nelson Lamet, Robert Gasser, Esteury Reyes headed to Milwaukee as well. The Brewers, I guess, Frank, we'll throw to you first to get your thoughts on this trade, because your initial, what you had said is exactly what Dream and I had just said to each other. The Brewers are in first place. What are they doing? But clearly we're going to see some surprises here as MLB trade deadline is so close. But my goodness, what do you think of that move to kick us off?
Yeah, it is the best time of the year. It's like news is going to break from now until, what is it, tomorrow at 2:00 or whatever it is, 4:00 maybe. The news will break in insane numbers. Teams like the Padres tend to be extremely active, and the Brewers always make these strange moves that you're looking around and wondering what's going on here. Hader's up after next year. They're swapping lefty closers. Taylor Rogers wasn't having the greatest success in San Diego since being moved over there. For the Brewers, they're probably looking at this we don't really care because we have Devin Williams and he can pitch the 9th if need be, and Rogers pitches the 8th now, probably would be my guess. Rogers actually been around for a little while, but not having his best season. But they're looking at that 235 FIP, I think, and realizing hey, he's not going to be this bad going forward, and he's a lot cheaper and easier. And then they swap closers and they get Dinelson Lamet out of the deal. Is a huge upside arm for the Brewers. This is how this team has remained towards the top or at the top of this division and competing at a high level despite not spending a ton of money in this league, because they make these moves that look like they're sideways move, but they give them plenty of upside, and they just need to hit on one of these guys to make it worth it. For 1 year of Josh Hader, I think it makes a ton of sense for them.
The Brewers at 57-45, a 3-game lead in the Central over the Cardinals, and the Padres been hanging around without Tatis, although they are 12 games back of the Dodgers. They're sitting pretty decently here as they're going to get Tatis back pretty soon, 57-46. Dream. You and I have futures on the Brewers to win the World Series. We talked about it on Mean Streets before the season started. We liked their pitching staff. We were a little bit concerned about their offense, but man, some of their power numbers have been pretty good this season when you look at them overall. And I see the question from Jordan. We'll get to that in just a second. This is going to be an MLB betting show, but we want to sprinkle in some fantasy baseball advice as well. If you are playing fantasy baseball, season-long stuff, by all means, you can leave a question and a comment, and we will get to it here on this show. If we see it a little bit later on when you watch the replay, over at ftnbets.com or here on our FTN Network YouTube page, we will circle back and address those questions that you do have. But thoughts overall, Dream, on this trade, Hader to the Padres? Oh, I think unmute your mic there.
Sorry.
And we're ready to go.
From the Brewers' perspective, it does make sense, I guess, in terms of how they run their team. And Frank brought up a good point. With 1 year of control left with Hader, they're kind of selling high on him now. Obviously, the return would have been a lot smaller next season. This seems just a little desperate by the Padres. I mean, Rogers is a guy that they acquired in the offseason. I know that they traded Paddock, and he obviously got hurt. but it just seems like they didn't have the pitching guys to fix Rodgers themselves. So now the Brewers are like, all right, we'll buy low on this guy that you just acquired in the offseason, and I'm sure they'll make a change or two, and he'll be back to where he was last year. So I like this for both teams. As far as going forward, I think it's a better move for the Brewers here.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. And I think we're all in agreement. From Spot Rack on the Twitter machine, as we mentioned, Hader, 3.9 next year. And then the free agent after that, Rodgers making $250K, Lamet $1.7 million. And I believe he's up after next year as well. I really like Lamet. I was a sucker for him a few years ago inside the rotation. We're going to talk strikeout props on the show quite a bit. I remember his was hanging around at 5.5, and he was flirting with double digits almost every single start. Of course, injuries have been an issue, and he's been moved to the pen since those days. Gasser, the number 7 prospect inside the organization. And of course, Gasser is a great name for a pitcher. And then Reyes at number 28 in there as well. Let's address this question here from Jordan. We'll get into some picks and want to give away some MLB betting packages as well on this show, but next week for sure. So Jordan Smith checks in. Hello, I have a question. Should I drop Clay Holmes or Doval for Devin Williams since Hader got traded, or should he just keep the two guys there? I don't know if you're playing in a league with holds. I know, the first two names have been pretty decent. Certainly Holmes in a league, if you are, in a head-to-head format or just a league that has holds, I think he's pretty interesting as well. Devin Williams, I was just checking before we got on. His ownership is 78% across the board on Yahoo, but he could be available in these kind of formats. Frank, do you think that he will keep that high leverage role? Will Rodgers come over and maybe be the closer for this team? How do you see that playing out? Head-to-head categories.
These teams tend to be loyal to a fault almost. I kind of liken it to Andrew McCutchen playing center field for the Pirates for like 3 years too long. And then Starling Marte got popped with steroids, and this punishment was going back to right field. So I think Devin Williams as sort of a legacy guy there, and it's not like he is better than Taylor Rogers. Let's just be clear there. So I would suspect that he's going to be the closer. So if you need the saves, I would suggest that. And the Brewers are going to continue to win games, and a lot of these schedules are backloaded with divisional games, and this division's terrible, and they're just going to keep winning games. They don't hit a ton already, so they play close games. Yeah, I like it there for sure.
Do you have anything to add to that, Drew?
I think Holmes gave up his first home run of the season yesterday or the day before. So yeah, I know Chapman's been better as of late, but I don't think I would cut Holmes unless there's some news came out that he might not have the job for the rest of the season. I would hold on to him. I probably cut Duvall, especially with the Giants potentially being sellers here at the deadline. We heard that potentially they could trade Jock or even Rodon. And obviously I think they have the first or second most losses in the second half of the season. So I would probably definitely grab Williams and cut Duvall there.
I agree with you, actually. I cut Duvall just myself last night in a league with just saves, and it was a shallower league, but man, he's got like 13 saves. He's a great pitcher, but the Giants are not playing really good. And it's not automatic that he's getting the save opportunities either. There was an opportunity for him the other day, and he didn't get that one either. So with all that said, Jordan, hopefully we answer your question. He says he agrees. That's what he was thinking as well. We appreciate you, Jordan. Welcome to the first ever edition of MLB Picks and Props Around the Diamond here, presented by FTNBets.com. So before we get into our picks, guys, as I mentioned the show, quick, fast pace, we're going to go around the diamond with a couple of our favorite picks, props. I want to plug a couple things over at FTNBets.com. I mentioned the bet tracker. We keep track of all of our picks over there, sides, totals, props, parlays, futures, you name it. It is all included in our FTN Bets package, which can be had a monthly package or an annual package, $49.99 for the month. It includes, all of our picks across all the sports from everybody. I'm talking MLB, NFL's just around the corner, NBA, NHL before you know it, college sports, PGA, FTN 20 will get you 20% off. You can sign up for the month, hang out with us. If you get your money back, then you can re-up, just get a little bit of a feel. I have a really good feeling you'll get your money back. There's a lot of sharp guys over at FTNBets.com. Included in the package, as I mentioned, all the sports, 40-plus premium tools. We have MLB tools and NFL tools, advanced NFL stats, projections, got the strikeout model included in there, access to a Discord channel where there's always a great conversation going on. You can tag anybody at any moment you want to, and guys are up all hours of the night to help you out there as well. And I want to just share this package with you guys. So if you're hanging out, you're watching this first episode, whether it's live on FTN Network or on GamePlus, hop on over to our FTN Network YouTube page, subscribe, smash this like button, and leave a comment here. We're going to be with you on Wednesday and Friday, so you'll have 3 entries max today, Wednesday and Friday. And then on Monday's show, we'll give away an FTN betting package. So we're just looking for one comment from you guys. If you could subscribe and smash that like button, that would do us a huge solid as we try to, share this show with everybody. And it could be any comment. It could be your favorite pick, your favorite player, thoughts on this trade, or you just want to say hi to the folks. And also, free prop shop, free parlay calculator over at ftnbets.com. Those are two tools, two of my favorite tools. Prop shots like Google search, type in anybody you want. You get all the books, all the odds there available to you. So save yourself a little bit of time, and same with the parlay odds sharp. Let's say that again. Parlay odds sharper. Don't say that 5 times fast. Also free over at ftnbets.com. So August 1st, 10 games, a slate that features Max Scherzer against Patrick Corbin. Yeah, that's right. Two guys headed in opposite directions. We may see Corbin traded before the day is over. Who knows? Part of maybe a Soto trade. The return of Jesus Luzardo. We'll also have a struggling Nathan Eovaldi up against the Houston Astros today. So we will throw to Frank first. He is the analyst over at ftnbets.com, managing director over at FTN Data. Frank, we will throw to you first. Give us a pick. What are you thinking here today?
Yeah, Tigers at Minnesota. Trig Skubal, who has been very much rumored to be traded. I don't think there's any way he sticks, even though he is young. It could be a situation where the Tigers want to keep him, but I don't really see it. There's news of them shopping Grossman around as well, so I don't think that they will stick here. Skubal going up against, I guess it's Aaron Sanchez now that Smeltzer got taken out, or Aaron Sanchez is maybe opening or something like that. I'm seeing him now in my data feed. That had to happen. Breaking news. Everyone's worried about Devin Smeltzer being taken out of the lineup for the Twins. The Twins. It shouldn't matter, really. Those guys really probably aren't that different in terms of skill set. I did play, like I said, I played the over here. I made this number close to 8. I don't really know why it was so low this morning. There's some 7.5 still out there. I think that's still playable at lower vig, -105, -108. And you get the added bonus here that Skubal may not even make it to first pitch. There a lot of teams will try to get in there and be like, well, he could pitch tomorrow for us or the next day for us. Why would we let him waste the start pitching for the Tigers? So they're almost certainly engaged in trade talks there. And if he does go down, he's obviously their best starter. He will then, this number will continue to rise just like it has all throughout the day. So, there's a little bit of like nice hitting conditions, 80 and sunny in Minnesota, which is kind of a rarity probably for Minnesota at any time during the year. And I like this, Skubal hasn't really brought like insane strikeout stuff, probably to the Tigers' detriment as of late either. Like he's limited the home runs, which is the main thing he needs to do. But I think only a handful of times since the start of June, he's gone over like 5-6 Ks. So we're starting to see a little bit of a rebound, as we do see from guys that are suddenly good, and starting to see a little bit of negative regression in his way. Plus you get the added bonus of the Twins lineup, batting against sort of the better pitcher here. And then Skubal, of course, going against, Sanchez going up against the Tigers lineup, who's probably the worst in baseball, but 7 isn't a high bar, especially against Aaron Sanchez or Devin Smeltzer or whoever the hell they're going to run out there. I don't really see, a total this low that often. And, we're obviously getting some positive movement up, but even at 7.5, like I said, I think this game is going to land on 8. I think you can play it at over 7.5.
Yeah, you're right. Whether it's Smeltzer or Aaron Sanchez, and I do believe it is Aaron Sanchez, even as bad as the Tigers are, they could put up a couple runs and get to Aaron Sanchez, who is still pitching in the bigs. And those at Anthem Sports Entertainment are very familiar with Aaron Sanchez from the Toronto days. Dream, we'll throw to you. What do you got for us, sir? Oh, Mike, again, we'll have to get that mic. We might have to have some sort of side game going on here where if his mic is muted, he may just have to put some money in the pot for us. But go ahead, take it away.
I love how Frank fires on an over, and I'm wondering how that pitcher's still in the league with Aaron Sanchez.
Exactly.
But, I guess he'll probably go 4 or 5 innings. It's surprising, though. We're going to head to Texas here. The Orioles are visiting the Rangers. The Orioles are one of the hottest teams in baseball in July, but they've since lost 5 of 10. It's funny that the Rangers think that they're making a playoff push. I heard that they were in the running for Castillo over the weekend. They're 7.5 back of the final wild card spot and 4.5 behind the O's. But John Gray is definitely enjoying a breakout season here in his first season with Texas. Finally got out of Coors. and he has the best FIP and ERA of his career. He also has a career high swinging strike percentage and Z contact percentage. Now, Z contact percentage is the percentage of time a hitter swings and makes contact on pitches inside the zone. So the lower the percentage, the better. Now, since June 1st, and with a minimum of 50 innings pitched, Gray has the 9th best strikeout percentage in baseball at 30%. And since then, he's no worse than 13th in called strikes plus whiffs, Z contact percentage, and swinging strike percentage. And it was interesting to note that his velocity was up 2 miles per hour in his last start versus Seattle. He was not only touching, he was averaging 98 miles per hour. So that was pretty much great to see. And he's hit this over 6.5 in 5 out of his last 6 starts. When you look at the Orioles, they're kind of middle of the pack versus righties, about 22% strikeout percentage. But they have the 7th most strikeouts against fastballs in baseball, and Gray throws that pitch over 50% of the time. Overall, they have the 8th most strikeouts per game, the 3rd highest chase percentage, 5th highest whiff percentage, and the 7th lowest zone contact percentage. So I do think this is a great spot for Gray to rack up 7 or 8 strikeouts here.
And your O's, man, you're almost as hot as you in the FTN Bet Tracker with all the picks, my friend. Yeah, 7+ K in 5 of his last 6 starts for John Gray. Just get the heck out of Coors. I mean, all the pitchers, right? Get out of Coors. Herman Marquez, get out of Coors. Maybe even a Sensatella could be okay outside of Coors. That is a complete joke. He would not be. But I do like that pick. For me, I am going to go with the White Sox. And guys, as we get comfortable with each other and familiar with each other, you may have to just tell me to stop betting on the White Sox. I'm a sucker for this team offensively. I like them a little bit more against lefties than righties, but this is more so about Brad Keller. You see there on the bottom, as you just saw, -130 over at DraftKings. So Keller checks in with a higher ERA on the road, 4.50 in 46 innings on the road. Opponents have much better numbers against him on the road than at home. He's a big contact guy, but he's also a big ground ball guy. So over 50% kind of saves him a little bit at Kauffman here, this game happening in Chicago against the White Sox. So I mentioned the contact rate. He checks in with an 81.5% contact rate. It's the 7th highest among qualified starters. Actually, Marco Gonzalez, who's on the slate today to pitch against the Yankees, has the highest contact rate in baseball at 84.6%. And then Cal Quantrill, Dream and I pick on him quite a bit, is the 4th highest contact rate. Also on the slate today at 83.3%. But this is all about Keller here, who has a whopping 6K per 9. That's it. 6K per 9, 73 punchouts in 107 innings. He's walked 40 batters over that span, 3.34 walks per 9. He's issued 8 walks in his last 2 starts and 12 in his past 4. His hit prop alone is at 6.5. Vegas is expecting some hits today. His last start against the White Sox, 7 innings. He gave up 8 hits and 3 runs. And even if he doesn't last too long here in this outing, the White Sox get to him. The KC bullpen has a 4.62 ERA. It's the 2nd highest in the majors behind Cincinnati. Look for Jose Abreu potentially to have a decent day against Keller. Plus money, plus 115 for 2 bases for him. He has a team high 304 average, 367 WOBA, 142 WRC plus, 95 hits, 22 of them doubles against right-handed pitching this season. So the White Sox, hopefully, with one of the highest team implied totals on the board here today, hopefully they can get to 5 runs. We'll keep things moving here. We have one more pick each for you. Again, any questions, you can leave them there. We'll throw back to you, Frank. Wrap us up with your second pick on today's slate.
Yeah, Logan Webb, strikeout prop here, over 4.5 strikeouts at a pretty low vig price here at -112. I believe I found that at FanDuel as well. I like to play strikeout unders because I feel like everyone plays strikeout overs. It's sort of like, oh, find a good spot where a bunch of guys are going to strike out. But this one stuck out to me at 4.5. Webb's hit this at 14 of his 21 starts, so decently high rate in terms of hitting it. And I think an underrated part of sort of grabbing these strikeout props is when usage rates sort of change quite a bit. Now, Webb has been a workhorse for them, but you look at his starts all in July, only once has he failed to face 25 hitters. And that start was against Milwaukee, where he faced 22 hitters, only gave up 4 hits and had 5 Ks. I don't know why he came out of that game as early as he did, to be honest. Maybe he had a little bit of a high pitch count, but even in that game, hitting his strikeout prop at over 4.5. Now, his last 3 games, 5, 2, and 5 strikeouts. But like I said, I don't see any reason to think that, he wouldn't have his best stuff. In fact, it's that time of the year and he's getting to pitch in San Francisco. It'll start getting chillier at night, like the ball's not going to go in far. And I know that he's getting the Dodgers, but it's a big park. He's obviously been a workhorse for them. 291 ERA on the season. I don't think that he'll be that good forever, but the ball is not necessarily going to leave the park. And I know the Dodgers offense can get you, but they're also pretty average in terms of strikeouts, right? So as long as he sort of just does what he does, he'll continue to roll ground balls. He gets the benefit of pitching in that big stadium, and he gets his 5 Ks pretty easily there, in my opinion.
Logan Webb over 4.5 strikeouts there. Dream, let's wrap up with you. Your second pick, sir.
Yeah, we're going to Houston. And to be honest, I don't know why this total has gone from 8 to 7.5. We've seen some money come in on the under, but I went ahead and got the Astros team total over 4.5 plus money. Evaldi's been dealing with velocity issues even since he came back from the IL and even before that. So it kind of looks like something that the Red Sox and him are just going to have to kind of live with. I noticed that in his most recent start, it was his lowest fastball usage since August 2020. So he's definitely going to have to lean on his other pitches. And I think that even bodes well, even better for Houston if they could kind of, know that he's probably not going to feature the fastball too much. They absolutely wrecked him when he was 100% in Boston earlier this season. He gave up 6 earned runs in less than 2 innings pitched. And I think the biggest takeaway from that game is that he had 100% Z contact percentage, which means the Astros didn't swing and miss on a single pitch inside the strike zone. And then, so even if Evaldi only goes 5 or 6 innings, the Red Sox bullpen has been overused. They have the 2nd worst ERA in July, the 7th worst FIP. And we all know, that the Astros can rake 4th best WRC against right-handed pitching this season. They're top 5 in most hitting categories. So I was pretty happy to grab this one at plus money.
Yeah, I actually love that. If you didn't come in with it, I was going to come in with that one over the White Sox. I do like yours a little bit slightly better than the White Sox, but I think both teams can get to 5 runs. I'm going to pick on Eovaldi a little bit more as well to round out my picks. This is a little bit juice, minus 130 over 5.5. That's over at DraftKings. I think Caesars has minus 137, similar. I think he gets lit up here. And the thing with him, and you mentioned Dream just that he could be taken out. I feel like the Sox just kind of leave him in and let him get, beat up a little bit. He's allowed 6+ hits in 8 of his last 10 starts, 3 starts since returning from injury, 23 hits allowed, 16 earned runs, 8 strikeouts in just 13 innings. And Frank, you were talking about maybe unders and strikeouts. Man, under 4.5 at plus 120 is kind of staring at me as well. I don't feel like he's going to get 5 strikeouts against this Astros team. I mean, Dream, you mentioned some of the stats against right-handed pitching. 6th in WOBA, you said 4th in WRC+, 5th in ISO, 6th in OPS, bottom 5 strikeout percentage. They make a lot of contact. They do take their walks here and there. But for Nate Eovaldi, the start against the Astros earlier this season, 5 2/3, 5 earned runs, 11 hits. Actually, no, sorry. That was last year. So check it out. His last 2 starts against the Astros this year, he didn't even get out of the second. 1 2/3, 5 earned runs, 8 hits, 5 bombs. And then last year's only start against the Astros, 5 2/3, 5 earned runs on 11 hits. Overall, he's allowed 18 dingers and 15 starts. So like this Astros team to get to him, you get the runs, hopefully 6 hits, and away we go. And, Bregman's been a little bit better lately. His first half was terrible. Yuli Gurriel a little bit better lately as well. His first half terrible, hit 289. During the month of July. His ownership is 45% Yahoo Leagues. Jordan, I don't know if you're still hanging out with us. If you need a little help, maybe Yuli Gurriel can help you out there in season-long format. So just to kind of recap, Tyler, if you want to chuck up just quickly everyone's boards here as we get out of here, we'll start with Frank. The 2 picks that Frank had, the over between the Tigers and the Twins and the over 4.5 strikeouts for Logan Webb. Over to Dream here. He was in on the Astros team total at 5 and over for John Gray strikeouts. And then myself picking on Nate Eovaldi again, over 5.5 hits allowed, and the White Sox to get to 5 runs. Guys, first show, awesome, fantastic. I can't wait to work with both of you guys as we wrap up. I mean, we still get so much time left in this MLB season. But on Wednesday, I'm sure we'll be talking about some more trades. Make sure you follow Dream on Twitter at MLBDream. Real Frank Brank right there. Myself at Chris Meaney. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Daily Handle, we got to get out of here, dude. We will get to that Padres stuff at 20-1. I think it's pretty good value if you can find that. They are a team that's pretty active, come trade deadline, and they are going to get to Tatis back. So we do like that pitching staff as well. Maybe we can address that a little bit larger on Wednesday's show. Good luck around the diamond. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.